presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. No Ben Brust today. He's already hammered, Joshy.
Have you heard from him?
I just know. I can feel it in my bones. A lot of Mick Ultras for Benny Brust on the golf course today. It's his practice round for the member guest tournament today. That's right. He missed the show today for the practice round. Homer's already disappointed.
Huh? Oh, you're kidding me.
Practice round.
Yes?
What do you want me to say?
No, you can't take a day off for the practice round.
Yeah.
It's not like he's never played this course before. I mean, this is the worst excuse that he's ever come up with. Practice round. Oh, my God.
I don't disagree.
Everything you said about him, which I thought was mean, I no longer will think is mean.
That's usually the case. Everyone thinks I'm too mean to Ben Brust until they get closer and closer to Ben Brust, and then all of a sudden they just look and say, oh, I get it now. Josh, you were probably that way before you started producing the show. Go.
No, I sussed him out pretty quick.
All right, sussed him out.
You know what it was, though, is I had experience with Ben Brust before we worked on the air together. When I was training him on some of our back-end stuff that is part of the sales and marketing consultant position, he had his head down the entirety of the time when I was supposed to be training him. So that's when I kind of knew what I was dealing with from that point forward.
Josh and Amaj are running the show along with our guy Alex G. I'm Greg Scalzo, your cousin sub of the day. Without further ado, our guy Alex Strofe holding it down at the Everlight Solar Studios downtown off the Capitol Square in Madison. What's up, Strophy?
Hey, Greg, so let me get this straight now. Practice round today. The actual outing is tomorrow, I assume, because I'm also here tomorrow. But I'm also here Monday. Is that to cure the weekend-long hangover? I am confused.
No, Monday, I believe.
I didn't realize.
Monday you're in for me. Monday you're in for me, but that's, because I've got other work responsibilities I've got to take care of on Monday.
Understandable. Okay. I was informed it was for Brust, so I've just been told incorrect things, but I also wasn't informed that I'm filling in because he has a practice round on a golf course he is a member to, but nonetheless, happy to be here, happy to be chatting with you.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776, Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. That is how you can get into the show today. I guess if you have any comment, like should Ben Brust skip a whole day of work and skip the show? Right? He's missing out time with you, the Scalzo and Brust family, so he could play a practice round on the country club that he grew up at in Illinois, getting ready for a member guest tournament here over the next couple of days. But I do want to get to the Green Bay Packers because I think one of the interesting things that has come out over the last couple of days as it pertains to the Green Bay Packers is from a friend of show, Darren Rovell. It's a Josh DiMaggio friend, who tweeted out the Green Bay Packers' total revenue this past season was $610 million. $610 million for a nonprofit.
$50 million?
Thank you. Community organization like the Green Bay Packers. And I just want to ask the question because we do this usually when it comes up around stock sale time where it's, hey, please give us your money. We're poor. We don't have an owner. We want to build a scoreboard. So give us $200 for this piece of paper so we can continue to fund things. And I guess I just want to know, with an organization that drives hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue, as Darren Rovell so nerdily pointed out, I believe that is the 25% of the entire Green Bay household income every year is made up by the Green Bay Packers. Do they do enough giving back to the community, giving back to the state of Wisconsin, giving back to the fans, if we are going to talk and brag about how they're a community organization? 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. I'll defer to you to begin, Alex Strofe, a Green Bay native, a man who was raised as a mere boy, as a young man in the Green Bay area, into the proud professional that you are today.
Quite the setup. Yeah, so I was actually going to refer to my time growing up and living in Green Bay because shortly after the Packers won the Super Bowl in the 2010 season, thanks, Josh, 2011 Super Bowl, they were selling stocks. And I said to my dad, this would be so cool. I want to be an owner, right? I mean, I want to be in charge of the Green Bay Packers as like a 12, 13-year-old kid. And he sat me down on the couch. He said, buddy, have you heard of what's called a pyramid scheme before? I said, no. And he said, well, this is a scam. We're not going to become owners because it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean jack squat. So we did not buy, the stock that year, and we have not since. And now that I have grown into, what did you just call me, a proud professional? I have realized it is indeed the biggest scam, and they do nothing for you. We were talking before the show. What do you get, like a luncheon? You get a free lunch one day a year to listen to Mark Murphy spew some garbage like he so often does and got the opportunity to do with Jason Wilde yesterday? I just don't really understand what... I don't get it, right? Like, I've always been under the belief, and I know it'll never happen, that the Packers would be better off with an owner. Now, Mark Murphy maybe is half of my opinion here because I think he's a big doofus, but overall, they don't do anything. You're absolutely correct about that. The stocks are a scam, and Mark Murphy's a doofus for the third time this sentence.
Obviously, the idea of having an owner for the Packers, all in all, I understand what you're saying. The risk you run with that is the Daniel Snyder situation where you get a bad owner, and then it's very difficult to get away from a bad owner. As much as Mark Murphy might be a doofus in your eyes, Strophy, the one thing he has been great at is driving revenue to the Green Bay Packers organization. Therefore, the board of directors is okay to continue to let him roll because everybody's making money, right? And it's good. Yep. But I do think, I don't even think it's arguable, this Packers community, the Green Bay community in the state of Wisconsin would receive more benefit from a give back, from the philanthropy, from the community efforts by an owner who owns the team more so than just the organization itself. The Green Bay Packers distributed a mere $1.25 million to charitable groups throughout the state of Wisconsin.
Really?
And like, just the tax benefits of a billionaire owner having to give to charity and doing it on a local level would so far exceed that $1.25 million.
I give away way more than 1/600th of my revenue.
And so you have to look at it and say, again, like, if you want to just be okay with it, because look, like, at some point, what are you going to do? This setup isn't changing. That's fine. I don't think the Packers fans should be bragging about, hey, we don't have an owner. It's a community organization. We own the team, because the team doesn't care about the fans. The team doesn't care about the community. They don't care about the state of Wisconsin. No. They care about one thing, and it is for some reason driving as much revenue into the vault that must exist underneath 1265 Lombardi Avenue.
Well, yeah, you're right about that, but you're right. They don't care about the community. They care about knocking down houses so they can build sledding hills that Mark Murphy gets to look like a doofus sledding down, right? So I'm so fascinated by this. I did not know the stat you just pulled out, by the way. I am befuddled by that. $1.25 million is all they've donated to charitable places. That's crazy to me. But look, I don't like Mark Murphy. I think that's become clear in the first 5 minutes of the show. I think if you get somebody in there, right, it is about making money. I get that. It's a business. That's what every NFL franchise is. But to say the fans are the owners, there needs to be some sort of advantage that you have as an owner outside of just getting a free sub sandwich once a year in the middle of July to listen to boring McBoring talk. I'm so fascinated by all of it. That's crazy to me. I'm blown away by that stat, Greg.
Yes. And I think that, and again, like, who is driving that from the organization, right? Like, a lot of times, again, you've got these organizations and the owners who are trying to do it from a goodwill standpoint. I just don't think the Packers organization has ever been held to account in a meaningful way. Like, Packers fans are still under the impression that, oh, we're community owned, like the Packers, like we're all just one big family. We're part of the Packers are a part of us. And meanwhile, the Packers are like, we're going to take the money that you guys are all giving us and then investing it into becoming land barons, into becoming commercial real estate developers so that we can then become landlords and try to drive more revenue into the coffers of an organization that ultimately is meant to really benefit the community. And in a way they do, absolutely, because Packers football helps define the state of Wisconsin. It provides us entertainment and delight every Sunday throughout the football season. It provides us fodder to talk about, and it provides us somewhat of an identity. But when it comes to what exists beyond that, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of effort or care back into a fan base that is so passionate and so proud about being Packers fans. And I feel like that's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people out there. But I do think that if you hold the organization more to account, then they could put more attention and focus into actually giving back in a meaningful way.
Yeah, I like that you use the term identity there because, as I mentioned, I'm from Green Bay. Cool. I view it as it's the epicenter of Green Bay. It's the epicenter of the state, right? We are Packers fans. It is about the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is not Green Bay without the Packers. So you would think they would be so passionate about being the smallest market in all of professional sports and would wear that other than just building sledding hills and the Titletown District, which is a great add to Green Bay, but it all goes back into the pockets of people like Mark Murphy and the people that are in charge of the Packers. Now, obviously, it's been a terrific run organization. Winning helps, right? You're not making as much money as you are without winning. You're still making a lot of money. You're an NFL team, but they've been one of the top teams in the NFL the last 3+ decades consistently. And I think that's what has made Mark Murphy's job easy. Has he been innovative to a point? Of course, right? When you look at the Titletown District and how it's developed, it's great. But winning is ultimately the recipe to making more money. The Kansas City Chiefs are making a lot more money than they were 10 years ago. The New England Patriots are one of the top franchises and are worth more than most franchises in all of professional sports because they've won so much over the course of the last 2.5 decades. So winning helps everything, and that's what I'm curious to view as Mark Murphy is approaching his exit. What is this team's trajectory on the field, and what happens to the revenue? Obviously, it's still going to make a ton of money. I'm not arguing that. But that is something I'm fascinated in doing the next 5-10 years.
Now, the Packers will say, hey, the investment we've made into Titletown is a community investment, right? And I think that is usually jobs, and hey, we're giving them some entertainment space. But ultimately, Titletown is meant to drive revenue back to the Green Bay Packers in a model that many owners have already done, in the past as far as building up and around that stadium. So it is interesting, Strophy, to just think about what the organization is. Now, separate the man from the organization because obviously you're not a big Mark Murphy. What is your ideal president? What is your ideal person to put into that? I'm not asking you for a specific individual. I'm not looking for you to be like, oh, this guy,
I'm not going to
whoever. But like, who do you think is best fit for that role? Do you think it's somebody more focused in terms of being a steward of the organization like an owner would be? Is it somebody that should be involved in football decisions? Like, who do you think that person should be?
Yeah, so obviously, as we've mentioned with Mark Murphy, right, he's judged on the money he brings in, and I think that will continue to be the case, and I'm fine with that, right? The football decision aspect of Mark Murphy is something that bothered me. Now, obviously, he has an athletic background. He played in the NFL. He was an athletic director at Northwestern, so that's why he inserted himself into the hirings of Matt LaFleur and obviously Brian Gutekunst when Ted Thompson retired. But I want somebody that is more, I don't remember what word you used, but somebody that's more the epicenter. I don't need a football face. I need a business face. And somebody that maybe donates more than $1.25 million back into the community. Somebody that talks about why Green Bay is great and can help Green Bay and can continue to make the Packers rise. And that means from a financial aspect as well. But I don't want the owner/president, obviously not an owner, but the president, inserting themselves into the football decisions. Put people in a position to make those decisions and do your job, right? Look at a guy like Bob Harlan who helped raise the Packers to the level they are still at 30 years after the fact. That's the type of person I want, and I don't have a name for you, but Mark Murphy just isn't it. And also, somebody that can be respectable when they're in the public light, right? Whether that's media appearances. Remember the WIAA Girls State Basketball Tournament? Great. Yeah, that's really what set me off about Mark Murphy about 4 or 5 months ago in the middle of this drama. The second time it's happened under Mark Murphy's watch with an all-time quarterback and first ballot Hall of Famer who's leaving the franchise, and you're making a joke of it. You're leaking things that shouldn't be leaked yet. Like, this isn't your role. Stay in your lane. Talk about how happy you are that the high school girls basketball state champions are back in Green Bay. Not that we're so happy to move on from Aaron Rodgers. It's good for our community. He is just, every time he's in front of a microphone, he lets something slip that shouldn't slip. He makes himself look like a goofball. He makes the Packers organization look slightly like a joke, and that bothers me as a fan.
800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. We'll open up the phone lines to you, and we'll ask you the question. The Packers as an organization care about Packers fans. And Wisconsin as a community, 50-50 so far. And what's so unique here is that, like, most times you just know that an individual owner, oftentimes, like, it's a business, right? Like most franchises, you take, like, I don't even want to go to the Bears, but you take the Guardians, right? Not the Guardians, the Commanders, who are just getting a new owner, like today, just getting a new owner. You know that owner is going to step in, and sure, they're going to care about the community, they're going to care about the fan base, but they're taking this over as a business because they're a business owner. What's so unique is that the Packers are the one team in professional sports that isn't that's presented as a charitable community organization, and they still operate themselves as if they were a business that had an owner, and that's a fascinating aspect of all of this. 800-990-3776. We'll keep the conversation going next. Alex Strofe in for Ben Brust. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
What are you saying, Ben? Have a thought. Put a thought in that head of yours. Have a freaking thought.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
A couple of slowdowns both ways on 94. Eastbound, the one to watch out for is from the zoo to downtown. That's an 11-minute ride right now, about a 5-minute delay. Westbound, the trouble spot is once you get past the zoo interchange, headed to Highway 16. That's a 19-minute ride right now, about an 8-minute delay. 41 southbound, also slow. Highway Q to the zoo, a 24-minute ride. That's about a 10-minute delay. 43 southbound remains slow, a 26-minute ride right now. That's up to a 17-minute delay. And we're seeing some slowdowns on 894 right through the hail. Traffic is brought to you by the Golden Mast Inn. Enjoy private gondola rides on Okachi Lake now through August 13th. Learn more and schedule your ride at goldenmastin.com. Taking a look at the forecast for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy, breezy with a low of 62. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 81. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Farmar-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN.
The only diamond more valuable than colorless
is the diamond that is colorful.
Pink, yellow, and blue.
In 2016, Christie's auction house sold a 14-karat blue diamond for $56 million.
That's $4 million a carat.
In 2022, Sotheby's auction house sold an 11-karat pink diamond for $57 million.
That's more than $5 million a carat.
These diamonds were born when the earth was born.
They come from the heart of the earth.
But now there are also pink, yellow, and blue diamonds that were born when you were falling in love.
These created diamonds come from the fiery heart of a miniature sun blazing inside a plasma chamber.
Hot, hot, hot.
Pink, yellow, and blue.
Your colorful 1-carat wonder awaits you for $12,000 or less.
Your colorful 3/4 carat miracle awaits you for $8,000 or less.
Get them while you can.
Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Even when you think you know what's going on.
I think first date, you want to see how she handles the corn dog. Am I right? Craig, are you with me or what?
You can never be too sure.
I don't think there should be separate rules for females and males.
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
I want to see how Chewy handles that corn dog.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
It's the 10th sales event all month long at the Lynch family of dealerships. Over 800 vehicles to choose from, including up to $7,500 off select new vehicles or 0.9% financing. And you'll get top dollar toward your trade, even if you have to push, pull, or drag it in during the Lynch 10th sale event. Visit shoplynch.com today.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
As low as 0.9% APR for 66 months to qualified buyers. Must take delivery by July 31st. See dealer for all the details.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day Weekend, Labor Day Weekend, Nitrous Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
A Grateful Dead Thursday here on Scalzo and Brust. Presented by Michelob Ultra. Josh DiMaggio on the ones and twos. Alex Strofe in for Ben Brust. He's your cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Alex G helping hold things down in Madison as well. Strophe, am I mistaken or did you go to a Nickelback concert by yourself a couple weeks back?
It was not Nickelback, and it was Shinedown, and that was 4 days ago. It was on Sunday, yes.
Nickelback would have been more respectable.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I disagree. Strongly disagree.
So it was
Great band. Great show as well.
So you go, Alex Strofe, by yourself to see Shinedown, who is like, am I wrong that it's a Nickelback type of band?
Yeah, I mean, it's like hard rock. It's in the same arena. I would agree, yeah. Sure. Fine, I'll give it to you.
And
don't love that comparison, but I'll give it to you.
Well, who'd you compare them to that would be better known? I'll let you control the narrative here.
Just keep going.
So I'm curious. So you go in by yourself, right? You had to have been a little self-conscious walking in by yourself and like not with anybody.
No, not self-conscious. I don't think that's the right word. So this was a last-minute decision. This is the fourth time I've seen Shinedown. Josh, go ahead and make fun of me. They put on a terrific show. And they were in Madison, right up the road from my apartment. I buy a ticket at 5:30, 6 o'clock, doors open. And I called my buddy who lives in Milwaukee.
Of course not.
No, it sold out in 40 minutes. So I got the ticket on the resale market.
Okay.
And I called my buddy who lives in Milwaukee, and I said, hey, you want to come? And he said, if you would have called me 2 hours ago, I would have come. So that was my bad. It was a last-minute decision. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to go. So I buy a ticket. I roll out to the Sylvie, right next door to our Everlight Solar Studios here in Madison. And I walk in. I have a great time. I've always wanted to go to a concert by myself. Is that something you've ever done?
It is not something I've ever done. However, I've definitely gone to concerts with other people and ended up by myself at that concert watching it, which is a similar experience.
Like you, yeah.
But what were you doing? Because like it doesn't seem like a concert you're like kind of boogieing to. Like, you're not dancing, right? Like, so are you just standing there doing a little head nod? Are you standing there not moving? Like, what does Alex Strofe look like at the Shinedown concert at the Sylvie in downtown Madison by yourself?
It's a great question. So I walk in, there's two opening bands, right? So during those, I grab a Mick Ultra, I'm walking around, and I am, I'm just exploring. I'm by myself. I don't have to worry about anybody else. I'm just exploring. I'm going upstairs, I'm going back downstairs, I'm bouncing around, getting different angles, enjoying the great venue that is the Sylvie. And then when Shinedown comes on, I make my way into the pit, right? Because I want to be front and center for this. And I befriend a older woman who is clearly intoxicated. And I am empty-handed at this point. And she says, why don't you have a drink? And I said, well, because I wanted to get a good spot. She said, I will. She sticks her elbows out. She's got to be 4'11", Greg, shorter than you. And she sticks her elbows out, and she's like, I'm saving your spot. And I'm like, okay, do you need a drink? And she politely declines. So I go and get a drink, and I come back, and she actually did save my spot. So anyway, I'm head bobbing. I'm throwing up what do they call this, Greg? The horns?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're throwing up the devil horns, which I never do normally, but I was in my element. I was enjoying it, singing every word. I was sweating my ass off because they had these things. If you go to like Bucks and Marquette games at Fiserv, they have those things with the flames. They had 8 of those on the stage, and this is a small venue, so I'm sweating my ass off. But I had a heck of a time. Great time for me. Head bobbing a lot, though. I had a little bit of a headache when I walked out. Go ahead. Rip into me. Go ahead.
I've been to a concert by myself.
Did you enjoy it?
I had a great time. I wasn't as active as you. I got there, I skipped the openers, stopped at the merch tent, got what I wanted, and then watched the show, had a few beers, and left. It's a great time.
I'm not making fun of you for going to a concert alone. I'm just more curious in terms of what you're doing at the concert alone. But it sounds like you just
enjoy the music. What else would you do at a concert?
But it doesn't seem like again, I find myself alone at concerts occasionally, and everyone has their own mix. But it's also a rock concert, which means that I guess you're throwing up the devil horns and banging your head and singing and hanging out with a older 4'11" lady who saved your spot. So that sounds like a great time. Proud of you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know that I'd do it again, but it was.
Well,
it was an
it sounds like you had a
experience.
great time.
I had a great time, but I'm not self-conscious, but it was a little awkward in between when I have nobody to talk to.
Yeah,
and it's like,
one.
okay, so I think I peed 4 times in between the.
You're just bored, so you're like, you didn't want to stand there.
I'm just bored.
Yeah.
I chugged a water at one point, and I'm like, all right, let's see how quick this can go through me. So, I'm experimenting with my body. It got a little strange at some point.
Don't tell people you were experimenting. Don't tell people you were experimenting with your body while you were standing alone at a concert. That could get you in real trouble.
If they want to take that out of context, that's on them. But I set it up.
Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. We posted the poll question. Do you think the Packers care about do you think the Packers as an organization care about Packers fans in Wisconsin as a community? 54% say yes, 46% say no. Tommy Jordan says they absolutely do, especially in comparison with other professional franchises. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Let's go to the official clown of the Scalzo and Brust family, the man that created, that built the Jordan Love train from his bare hands. He is Mark in New Berlin.
The legendary
Mark in New Berlin.
The train is up the station. Put in Jordan Love. Let's see what he can do. We know he can do a lot. I predict him to be better than Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he'll be better, but he'll win more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Mark, you're an idiot. Mark in New Berlin. It's been a long time. Welcome back into Scalzo and Brust.
Oh yeah, can't wait till the season starts. Now, first of all, like Homer said, Homer's dreaming small. He said Jordan Love will be in the Packer Hall of Fame. Jordan Love's going to be inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I don't know what Homer's dreaming small. And now, did you hear the latest on Aaron Rodgers? The guy who doesn't want that film crew from ESPN there. He doesn't want Hard Knocks. He's requesting a hair and makeup person to be there, and the hair and makeup has to be done before they interview him.
That's not true.
I heard the same
That
thing,
is
Mark.
true. That is true. That's true. He wants hair and makeup.
You can get arrested for saying that publicly. That's libel right there. Slander.
Now, getting back to Mark Murphy, this is the truth. He just bought this shows how much he cares about the Packers and people in general. He just bought a golf course. Did you guys hear that up in Door County?
Mark Murphy did?
I did see that, yes. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he just bought a golf course. He's going bankrupt, so you know he got a deal on it. It's a nice course. I mean, it isn't like a putt-putt course. It's a nice course. People play it. You know, they enjoy. And this is the truth. He is taking the golf course down and building luxury condos. Now, what does that tell you about this nice guy? He bought it at a sheriff's auction, basically, tearing it down and building high-end condos that 95% of the people are going to be from Illinois in it. What a nice guy. This isn't a business, man. This is one hell of a nice guy.
Hey, Mark.
He's already got more money than God.
Mark, let me ask you a question. How many other presidents of charitable organizations end up buying golf courses and building luxury condos?
I would have to say probably not too many. I mean, they probably buy land, but they probably don't knock down the whole course. We got a deal, you know. Why not? Why not just knock that nice land down and build some condos for Illinois people? He's a businessman, Scalzo. He don't care about the Packers. He cares more about selling jerseys. You guys got to realize that this is a business. They don't care about that.
Speaking of selling jerseys, Mark, are we ready to print the Show Me the Love t-shirts this fall?
Oh, the Show Me Love T-shirts are coming out. We're going to have a new style, guys. My wife's designing it right now. It's going to be a new style. It's going to, that old one, that first one we gave was just, in fact, that's worth money. That was 404.
Still have one.
So those are worth money. Yep, you still got it. And like I said, the new ones are going to be printed this year once the season starts. Right now I got.
Hey, sign me up, honestly. Sign me up.
Alex Strofe wants a Show Me the Love t-shirt. I miss Mark in New Berlin as well. It's been way too long. I'm happy to hear he's still Mark in New Berlin. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776, Twitter at Scalzo and Brust. Jason Zadler chimes in on Twitter and says, did this guy, you're this guy, Strophe, did this guy just say Shine Down was hard rock? Crying emoji, oof.
That is literally what they are defined as, but oof is fine. Hey, real quick, Greg, another thing on this golf course Mark Murphy bought, the first change he made was changing it from a par 70 to a par 72. Like,
is that true?
Is he just bad at golf? Is he two stits? That's true. I don't know that the condos part that Mark in New Berlin just told us has any factual, it was facts at all, but that is a fact. He changed it from par 70 to a par 72. That's a real fact.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
Do with that.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, definitely Sandbagger City, right? Like,
yeah, him and Aaron
You
Rodgers.
think he's good at golf, Mark Murphy? He's what? That would make him 68 years old if he's retiring in 2 years at the required age of 70. So, you think he's any good at golf?
No, I don't.
I think he's old man good.
I don't either.
Really?
You know how old guys can hit it straight consistently, not very far. They'll have some bad shots.
He
but for the
played
most
football, though. Like, he's probably, his body's probably not in great shape.
Yes. Also, he has a lot of time to be on the course, hitting the links.
How? He's running a $600 million charitable business.
I got news for you, Greg. He ain't doing a lot of work.
He's got time. He's got plenty of time. Too busy sledding down that hill from the months of November to April.
Teddy from Watertown says you've got to stop giving Mark in New Berlin airtime. Definition of old man screams at skies. If you guys didn't put him on the air, he'd be screaming his takes at a wall, which would care more about what he has to say than any of your fans.
We'll program the show.
Kay Forsyth on Twitter at Scalzo and Brust says, how about Elliot Wolf takes over Mark Murphy's job? Also, I think fans should have a say in who we draft.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Only if
I
you're
love
owners. Only if you're owners of the team, though.
I would buy stock then, Greg. Honestly, if they'd like how we post a poll on Twitter at Scalzo and Brust all the time, if they posted polls on like, hey, these are the 8 guys on our big board at pick number 15, let me know. Whatever wins the poll, we'll take this guy. I would buy stock immediately. I'd buy multiple shares, in fact. I want a lot of pull in terms of what they.
I think it doesn't matter how much stock, but you're right. It has to be in a vote. Like, I don't know how you do that in real time with the 10 minutes between picks in the first round. Available
4-minute poll.
Or you have everybody submit their voting ballot, and then you actually just build your board, and then you have to go off of the board. Whoever's left.
Ranked choice voting. You could do it ahead of time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just don't think many people know what ranked choice voting is, Joshy. So I'm trying to explain it a little bit.
I can't say I have any clue what that is. No, I don't.
You're a big civics guy.
I'm an honest guy. Yeah, totally. That's me. You got me pegged down, yeah.
The best thing about replacing Benny with Strofe is they kind of are operating on the same wavelength, so we can kind of make the same jokes at their expenses.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm obviously kind of an idiot. We know this about me. But I would say Ben Brust and Jesse Nelson have a lot more in common than me and Ben Brust.
How so?
The shamelessness.
I want to hear you expand on that.
Yeah. The shamelessness, they're both really good ass kissers. Like, I try not to do a lot of that. I'm just very honest in what I say. And I will admit when I don't know something. I don't know. Benny's gotten better at that, right? Like, he's pretty okay, what does that mean? Spell it out for me. But you just said, Strofe knows that. I'm going to tell you, I absolutely don't know that. I could have just taken the credit and shut up. But I'm bad at that. I don't really know when to shut my mouth. But me and Ben do have that in common. And Jesse probably, too.
Thank you for displaying it right there. I appreciate it. Alex Strope in for Ben Brust. 1-0 coming up next. Scalzo and Brust presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Yes, I do have vodka breath right now, but she asked me to bring her a G&T to the pool and she wants to see me shirtless walking around the pool, and she's looking forward to tonight.
You're so full of crap.
Yeah, JP, what a stud!
Greg.
What do you mean?
He's not a stud. She doesn't want to see him with his shirt off. I've seen him with his shirt off.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We're seeing some slowdowns on 94 westbound. These ones coming right out of the Zoo interchange as you're heading west towards Highway 16. 41 southbound is slowing from north of Capitol Drive down on towards the Zoo interchange. And coming out of the Zoo interchange going the other way on 41. A lot of brake lights there. Still some slowdowns through the Stadium interchange on both ways 94. Definitely seeing some brake lights, especially on 94 westbound as you head out of the Marquette. At both ways on 43 you're slow right now. Southbound for Brown Deer Road to downtown is about a 15-minute delay. Northbound, about an 8-minute delay. Traffic is brought to you by Great Lakes Dragaway, a quarter-mile-long drag strip plus a drift pad. Even drive your own car on the track. Find full event schedule and ticket information at GreatLakesDragaway.com. Taking a look at your forecast, partly cloudy and breezy tonight, a low of 62. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 81. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. I'm back with Justin from Downdren's Distillery, and he's got a hot take on which Downdren's vodka you should be using for one specific summer cocktail.
Well, the spicy pepper. So the spicy pepper, like that one, again, if you're a fan of Bloody Marys, it'll change your bloody life. It's just amazing stuff. It tastes good. The peppers are not just one hot kind of pepper, it's multiple peppers. And you know you're getting a Wisconsin ingredient in there, which, again, supporting local farmers is part of what Downdren stands for.
Thanks again to our guy Justin for giving me all the info on Downdren's and making a unique Bloody Mary. We all love those. Remember, folks, we're keeping things ready all summer long because the fridge is always stocked.
Real people are getting real and lasting pain relief at QC Kinetics.
Who would have thought that I would be in better shape now than after I got out of the Marines at 22? It's great to be active again.
I've played 36 holes multiple days in a row without pain. Everything's great.
Are you tired of living with chronic joint pain? QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge regenerative medicine to restore and repair damaged tissue, natural healing agents from your own body, so your body can heal itself the way it was designed, with no pain pills, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime.
It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
Thanks to QC Kinetics, quality of life is just a lot better.
Definitely changed my life.
Call now to see if regenerative medicine could be the answer you've been looking for. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics have proven protocols that can give you lasting relief now, and the consultation is free.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Keep the good times rolling every Sunday with GKB founder and CEO Craig Karmazin on Sunday Karma.
No rump shaking. Did you say that off the air, Kyle? You got to say that on the air. It was not rump shaking. It was not anything inappropriate. It just was totally irrelevant.
Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
Because isn't that how GMs get chosen, right? You trade up, in my opinion, cost the team a chance to win a championship.
Sundays from 10 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin.
Look at all this space I have on my desk. Finally, no more clutter.
I know, right? Plus, now I can actually see everyone and talk to them whenever I want.
Would you stop trying to ask people if there are more doors or wheels in the world?
Speaking of wheels, these chairs, woo!
I've never been more comfortable at work.
Coakley Brothers and Brothers Interiors, the official moving and furniture provider of GKB Milwaukee. You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Some folks trust reason, others trust your mind. I don't trust nothing, but I know it.
So Josh DiMaggio pretty much called Ben Brust a basic Grateful Dead fan on one of our group chats. Ben never responded. I think he was hurt, Josh.
I didn't mean that, but I see how it could be.
I was so close. I literally had typed something out, and I was like, this is just too, it's just too mean. So there was a clip going around, Strophy. I know you're a big Shinedown guy, but it's Grateful Dead,
I am.
historical band, started in the 60s. Jerry Garcia.
Greg, I know who the Grateful Dead are.
Perfect.
Yes.
John Mayer's, the Jerry Garcia of Dead and Company, and they played their final show, or what they claimed to be their final show in San Francisco. And there was a song which went viral on Twitter where John Mayer was, playing the guitar and the whole deal. And it felt like as soon as it started to gain steam, everybody saw the clip. So 2 days after it was on Twitter, Ben sends it to me and Josh being like, I don't even think he said anything. He just sent us the clip. And Josh, I think I could tell was trying to be nice. Now, I had just seen our sister station, 620 WTMJ, Steve Scafidi, post this on his Twitter feed. I had just seen another 15 people who I wouldn't associate with being Grateful Dead fans posting this, which I love. I'm not like, you shouldn't like this.
Yeah.
But it was amazing to see Ben basically bring this into the group chat as if it would be the first time that, Josh and I had seen it. And then Josh merely respond.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no, I can't find it.
I should be able to get it.
I just had it pulled up.
You to have it. I don't know what.
Oh, here it is. Just responded.
Oh, great setup. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I blew it.
Seriously? Seriously?
What do you mean it's gone?
Been amusing watching this make it normie Twitter. Frankie Borelli, a Barstool golf guy, and Scafidi are tweeting about it. Ha, 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 ha. Nothing for
Josh.
Ben. Nothing for Ben.
Was that
Josh.
mean?
No, it wasn't mean.
Yes.
I didn't intend it to be mean. I will say that. If I'm being mean to Ben, I have no problem admitting it. That wasn't my intention.
I'm actually Team Ben here, guys. Look, he has gone out of his way to have mutual interest in something you both, much more than him, objectively, enjoy. But he wants to be a part of your group and enjoy Dead and Company and the Grateful Dead and all the spin-offs, right? And he saw something he knew you guys would enjoy. He sent it to you because he knew you would enjoy it, and Josh ripped his little heart out. I actually feel bad for Ben here. It's like gatekeeping fandom at this point. Why would we gatekeep?
No. I'll defend Josh here because he has done. He has worked to find this interest, but he actually enjoys it and likes it. And Josh and I brought him into our world and down to Chicago to go to the concert with us so he could experience it with us. But it's the equivalent of like, if all of a sudden somebody starts rooting for the Packers, right? And he sends you like just a random clip that you would have seen 50,000 times as if it's the first time you see it. I was going to say something. I just decided not to respond at all.
What were you going to say?
I mean, it was going to be something about like, I would have just been mean, and made fun of him for being like basic Benny or something like that. But I decided against it, and Josh decided to jump in. 2 feet.
Yeah, still, exactly. That's my point. Like, you are essentially, you're not gatekeeping necessarily, but you're getting close. You're teetering on that gray area.
But there's also that
gatekeeping the fandom.
But there's also that
if somebody sent me something I enjoy, and I had seen it before, Greg, I would say, yeah, I saw this, but this is awesome, isn't it? I would strike up a conversation around it.
So say as a Shinedown fan, you introduce somebody to Shinedown, you teach them everything they know about Shinedown, and then they're sending you things like, hey, have you heard this song before? And you're like, yes, I was the one that, you know what I mean? And I think that's the Josh experience that he had there.
Shouldn't that make you proud? That should make you proud, Greg. These are different emotions. This shouldn't make you angry. Oh, you're such an idiot. You didn't see it 48 hours ago.
To speak for myself here, I wasn't angry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nobody was angry.
I was more marveling at the fact that a Dead and Company thing, they've been touring for the entirety of the summer. No clips have gone that viral. And quite frankly, John Mayer was just doing what John Mayer does. Oh, yeah. It wasn't particularly impressive of a showing from him, so I didn't quite understand why it was popular, but I was happy it was. I favorited the tweet. I was not trying to demean Ben. I was more commenting on the fact that this thing has somehow exploded to all these people who I would never see commenting on this in the first place.
Well, I think it's just what
All right,
happens.
hold on, time out.
It's just what happens when people actually listen to the good music and they're like, wait a second, this is good, as opposed to just lumping in and stereotyping what that music would be.
Admittedly, I have not seen this clip. So if you wouldn't mind, Josh, could you send this to me so I can watch it in the commercial break? Because I would like to have
it's
some
like
context
8 minutes long. You're not going to be able to watch it in the commercial break. That stereotype
so over
about
the course
dead
of the
is
next
true.
couple. Yeah, that's fair. They do play very, very, very long music, but it is terrific. I've always enjoyed them. I'm just not as deep in as even Benny is. So after I watch it, Josh, I don't want a snarky text message telling me that I'm 72 hours late on.
Greg, you never commented either in the video I sent you of the exact same spinning fellow that we stood behind for the entirety of night 2. It's the same
Another
guy
true stereotype.
doing the same exact thing, his little spin moves and arm motions.
Yeah, that's because you sent me a TikTok. I have a hard time opening those up without the...
Well, it's the same exact guy we watched and marveled at for the entirety of the 3-hour show.
The one with the girlfriend that was with him?
Yeah, that was wearing the dress.
Yeah.
There he is.
Oh, yeah.
They're just touring the country with him?
Yeah, a lot of those guys
Trophy. You have so much to learn. These people...
Well, I know a lot of people do it.
All right, so
but
these people legitimately...
Chicago to San Francisco 2 months later?
They legitimately spin the entirety of the show. Like, they do not stop spinning for 4 hours. They just spin with the music and dance.
Okay, stupid question, because there is such thing. I'm coming with you with a stupid question. They're not sober doing this, correct? Not even close, right?
Could you spin for 4 hours sober?
Without getting sick?
I would get sick after about 14 seconds.
Yeah.
Well. As would all of us.
Those people are on different planets, Trophy. They're on different planets.
Well, that I know about deadheads, right? Like, I understand that.
That wouldn't loop everybody into that world. I think the spinners hold a special place within that world. I think even everybody else at the Dead concert looks at the spinners and like, oh my God, they're on a different galaxy.
Uh-huh.
So you two have never at least attempted to be a spinner at a Dead show of your choice? You've never even attempted to be like, I wonder what the hype is around this, right? So just start spinning and then you're like, whoa, I'm dizzy. Like, have you ever tried it at least?
I've never come close and I don't intend to.
We did at a Fish concert last summer.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Have a guy in front of us who didn't dance spin, but calmly spun at the same pace in a 360 degrees for the show whenever the music was playing, and on his back, he had a sign taped to him that said, "Sorry for the acid farts."
I love that. Hey, honesty is the best policy, and I love it. So we talked about this last time I was with you, the two of you, because it was shortly after you guys went to Chicago. But Ben, in this environment, right? Like, he has to be fascinated by these people because Ben is a sheltered guy. He hasn't been to a lot of concerts. He hasn't been to this type of concert, I'm sure. Is he just fascinated by the people watching, like the spinner with his girlfriend in a dress in front of you? Or is he more fascinated by the actual show on the stage?
I think he was taking it all in. I think he was pretty enamored with it all. A lot of finger pointing early on.
Yes.
A lot of...
I did tell him to stop pointing his finger at a point because there was people not that far away from us that he was pointing directly at.
That makes me so happy.
The thing is, he was marveling at some of the people, but he also just reverted back to what Ben Brust always is and trying to become everybody's best friend within earshot.
Yes.
Yeah, he was friends with the shirtless guy who was extremely hairy, the pregnant woman and her husband, the guy behind us. It was everyone. He talked to all of them.
Yeah. Ultimately, Ben is still going to be Ben in every environment.
I love it.
No Ben.
I love it. I love him. I love this.
No Ben Brust. Alex Strofe in for Ben today. Your cousin sub of the day. We believe in better. We'll move 1 or 0 to 5:30. We're going to come back. It's the 2-year anniversary of the Milwaukee Bucks winning the NBA championship. We'll revisit what that night sounded like here with Scalzo and Brust. We're presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Andrea, your best guess for how long Jonathan Brust, a father of 6, who's been with his wife for 16 years, made love with his wonderful wife last night.
Scalzo and Brust.
Dad, welcome to Scalzo and Brust. Do you have a guess for us for how long Jonathan Brust made love with his wife last night?
Yes, I do. I'd like to take a poke at
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with
Joe Fortenbaugh.
They could have had more years of Tom Brady, and they didn't. And that was clear that there was some sort of falling out with the organization, and that Belichick is a large part of that organization. So it didn't work out. You lose out on the last few years of Brady's prime, and Brady shows that he was more than capable of winning a Super Bowl elsewhere. And since that time, Belichick just hasn't delivered. The team hasn't gotten any better. They're 25-25 with no playoff wins. So absolutely, this season is going to be a very big measuring stick season. And when you're looking up at the Dolphins, up at the Jets, and up at the Bills, I don't know if we're going to see a whole lot more of Bill Belichick after this year. All these things eventually come to an end, right? Our attention spans are dwindling. Our patience is dwindling. What have you done for me lately? So many people are making the case that Andy Reid might be the best coach in the NFL right now.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with autosave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way, I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Over the past year, we've been hard at work improving our sales processes, expanding and remodeling our facilities, investing in new technology, and continuing our commitment to serve our customers, employees, and community. That's why at Boucher, when our customers leave the dealership, we hope we've made a customer for life. Whether you're in need of a new vehicle, are stopping in for routine maintenance, or are in need of collision work, we will be here to help. With 20 locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin and 30 brands, we've got thousands of new and used vehicles for you to choose from. Our dedicated employees have been named a 2022 top workplace for the past 11 years, and we always have been and will continue to be family-owned and operated. Proud to be your Wisconsin family dealership group since 1977. Visit us today at Boucher.com.
Yeah, they're football guys, but they don't shy away from the big topics of the day.
So you won't listen to their music because of this? Was it a bad breakup?
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by American Family Insurance.
I don't know. You play one of their songs on
this
our
guy
show.
broke up with Florida Georgia Line. You should like him more.
I do like Tyler Hunt. Yeah, it's a good career move for him.
You're still not going to go to the concert.
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
2 years ago today, the Milwaukee Bucks won the NBA championship, bringing Milwaukee its first title in 50 years. The Bucks their first title in 50 years. And on that night, Scalzo and Brust were on the late shift, the after post-game shift, where we had a celebration party here in order to celebrate that Bucks victory. Alex Strofe in for Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio, Alex G running the show. And Joshy, I just want to give the fans and give myself a little bit of a taste in terms of what it sounded like celebrating that championship here with Scalzo and Brust.
We are all NBA champions. This Scalzo and Brust Championship After Party presented by Jockey, made in America. One more time, early time, we're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah, all right, now stop the dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. Oh yeah, Brook Lopez, oh yeah, yeah. Giannis Antetokounmpo MVP, Clutch Chris, oh yeah, oh Bobby. Drew Holiday, Chris Paul sucks. Oh yeah. One more time.
This is us completely sober.
100% sober.
We must have gotten on the air, Joshy, at what? After 1 a.m., probably 1:30 in the morning.
So I tweeted out clips from us, actually that exact clip earlier today that I had on my phone because this was pre-streaming era of Scalzo and Brust, and the timestamps on the first one was 1:51, and that was the second segment of the show. So we probably got on 1:30-ish, like you said, and the last one I have is the ending of the show, which was 3:57 approximately of when that show went till.
That was a very, very fun night. The fans had fun as well. Somebody called in and and talked about the celebration at the Deer District, which is one of those things that, let's be just perfectly quite honest, may never happen again. Even if the Bucks end up in the NBA championship, I doubt there'll be a scene like that outside of Fiserv 4.
How you guys doing?
We're great. We're great.
Oh yeah, we loved your Daft Punk remix in the beginning there. That was amazing. Your One More Time remix.
Oh, it might not be the last time you hear it.
Oh, I hope not. We went down to Milwaukee from Chicago to celebrate because we knew the Bucks were gonna win. And honestly, I'm happy because everyone was on the Suns bandwagon. And after seeing the Suns go up 2-0. I really didn't doubt the Bucks for a second. I knew they were going to come back and pull around. There was a man who walked up to me and tapped me on the shoulder and proceeded to put his finger down his throat and projectile vomit in front of me and 15 other people.
That's pretty crazy.
I'm not even making that up.
No, I mean, you're top of the list for craziest things in the Deer District.
I don't know why you would make that up. So somebody puked there at the after party, and again, this show was so much fun to do, Strophe. Before we get to the end of that story, I want to hear what Alex Strofe did or was doing at the time after the Bucks won the championship.
Yeah, so I was in the Deer District and with 50,000 of my best friends, and the streets were closed down. I was drinking beers in the streets, and I bought the T-shirt. If you're watching on the stream, I bought this T-shirt out of a wagon from a bootlegger that just says Bucks and Six. It's the first time I've worn it since because I realized today was the anniversary. Now, while we were listening to those clips, Greg, I actually scrolled back through my text exchange with Josh DiMaggio all the way back to July 20th of 2021. Me and Josh text pretty frequently, so that took a while. I texted him at 10:47 p.m. because we had discussed that I would be your field reporter on the special program that night.
I do remember that, yes.
And I texted Josh, let me know when you need me. I'll find a quiet area. Let's effing go. Josh says, ha, I'll hit you up. Guess what Josh never did, Greg?
Hit him up.
You never hit him up? I thought this was going to end with Strofe just blew off your call because he was partying it up. A lot of Mick Ultra.
No, I was partying in the streets. I was trying to get interviews lined up. I texted Josh 2 more times that night. He didn't respond to me. Wow. He was a little bit too busy listening to Benny's remix. So he blew me off that night. But I ended up partying until I think like 6:30 in the morning. I slept for an hour in Milwaukee, took a cold shower, and then jetted back to Madison because I had to work the next day. And it was one of the greatest nights of my young life, Greg. It's fantastic.
Well, Clive said somebody puked in front of him, and we found the person that may have puked in front of Clive.
Oh, how's it going, boys? I know it's going great because it's going great for me too, man. After watching this team for all my life, and they weren't even bad at points. They were just mediocre, and this doesn't even feel real right now. But the craziest thing I saw at the Deer District is when they won, this man handed me the biggest bottle of Hennessy I've ever seen in my life and told me to take a swig.
Did you take the biggest swig of your life?
Oh, yeah, and I proceeded to vomit right away. I might have been that guy projectile vomiting.
Oh, what a connecting moment that was for all of us in Wisconsin when the Bucks won 2 years ago. We'll see if they can do it again. 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. We'll go to Leroy in Milwaukee. Our guy Leroy, what's going on, man? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you guys, too, family. I ain't gonna lie, family. I was in my room just cleaning up, sweeping, about to mop, and all I heard is, one more. I had to stop, throw my broom down, and call you guys, man. I love that. I remember I was at, see?
As for you, Leroy.
Throw that mop down, Leroy. Throw that mop down.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
One more time. Is Stroh playing the Brust part where he just makes up noise?
I got it.
Words?
Oh, that's what he does, right?
Yeah, it is. 800-990-ESPN. Thank you, Leroy in Milwaukee. We love you, Leroy. Ken in Milwaukee, welcome to Scalzo and Brust. What do you got?
Oh, man, it was amazing. After the Bucks won Game 5, I was out in Milwaukee, ran into a buddy of mine, and he's like, hey, what are you doing Tuesday? You want to go to the game? And he said he had an extra ticket because his partner was in Vegas. So he took me to the game. We went to Game 6. I'm 45 years old, been going to Bucks games since I've been about 7 years old. So I've seen a lot of bad years. I've seen the fun run in the early 2000s. But to actually be there watching our squad play for a championship and then closing it out with a 50-piece Game 6 was absolutely just amazing. And I think the best part of it was being down 2-0. I remember watching, they showed the clip of Bud walking in the locker room telling the guys, hey, I know we're down 2-0, but I saw some good things. We're going to be all right. And the national media just ripped him. Oh, how stupid can you be? You're down 2-0 in the finals, blah, blah, blah. And then LeBron James sent out that tweet, Chris Paul, 2 to go. And the Bucks went on to win 4 in a row, swept, and won the championship.
That is right. Thank you, Ken in Milwaukee. Appreciate the call. It was an amazing moment, an amazing night. Wins the championship, going to be back in Wisconsin. It's always good going into a season knowing a championship is on the line. How do you feel about the Packers' upcoming season? Talk about it next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
One more time, this got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free. One more time, this got me feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate, celebrate and dance so free. One more time.
94 both ways right now. Slow through the stadium interchange. It's looking like, though, both ways it will be pretty good once you get through and past American Family Field, whether you're going westbound towards the Zoo interchange or eastbound headed for the Marquette. Still some brake lights also on 94 westbound. Further west of that, once you get past the Zoo interchange, that's happening around Elm Grove Road. 41 southbound also slow around Silver Spring. You're looking at a couple minutes back up there. And 43 is slow both ways, northbound from downtown to Brown Deer Road. Now a 20-minute ride. That's a 9-minute delay. And 43 southbound's been slow all day, still a 25-minute ride. Taking a look at your forecast for tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, a low of 62. Tomorrow, sunny and beautiful, a high of 81. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN.
The workplace has changed a lot thanks to technology, and more recently, the shift to a flexible or remote schedule. Your business must adapt to maintain a great culture, attracting quality candidates and keeping them. You need Smart Spaces. The team of interior integrators at Smart Spaces brings creativity and expertise, assessing the walls, ceiling, lighting, flooring, furniture, and audiovisual systems to create places that matter in the modern world, fully functional for those in the building and for others to interact remotely. Get started today at smartspaceswi.com.
Brian, why are you stacking books on the floor?
I want to stand while I work. Standing desks are all the rage these days.
Well, it's a good thing that these desks move up and down. You did know that, right?
What? They do?
Yeah, we're not messing around here.
This is great. Now, only if I had a chair to swivel around in.
Do you just not pay attention to everybody else's desks?
Well, no wonder I'm not getting much done these days.
Coakley Brothers and Brothers Interiors, the official moving and furniture provider of GKB Milwaukee.
Hey, this is Tony Smith. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
It's a party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust. Woo! Presented by Michelob Ultra.
It's a party, baby.
On 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Benny Brust enjoying it right now. Practice round of the big Hawthorne Woods member guest country club tournament going on here in, where is it?
Doesn't matter. He's a
somewhere
hero
in
regardless.
Illinois. Alex Stroh for Cousin Sub of the Day. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Josh Namazu, Alex G. holding it down, running the show. You, the Scalzo and Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Twitter, at Scalzo and Brust. We just celebrated or revisited the celebration, our celebration of the NBA Championship 2021 run by the Milwaukee Bucks. And as we prepare for training camp to take hold next week, right? It's next week. The NFL season is starting. It's the first time in, I would say, 13 years that you're not walking into a Packers season as a Packers fan with championship expectations.
Completely correct, yes. 13 years, maybe even 15, because obviously 13 years ago was the title run. I know we didn't have super high hopes that year, but you knew Aaron Rodgers was good at least. You had an answer on your quarterback.
You had an answer on your quarterback, and so you're talking about the first time in 13, 14, 15, whatever, however many years. It's been a long time since you walked into a season without championship hopes. Now, I am strangely excited about this year for the Packers because I'm really excited to see what the hell they are. We've always known what this team was, right? It's like you're doing the same math equation over and over again. I know you're not a math guy, so we could say it's like watching the same movie over and over and over again.
Much better.
You know this team, under Aaron Rodgers was going to likely win the division. They were going to have a lot of regular season success. They were going to be fun to watch, and it was going to come down to, could Aaron get it done in the playoffs in big moments? That was the back half of his career in Green Bay. The front half was, will the defense be able to make any stops in the playoffs in order to get them into the Super Bowl and potentially a Super Bowl win? This season, it is the quarterback the guy for the future? Is the offensive line going to stay healthy? What do these pass catchers look like? Is Joe Barry so bad that he can't make use of the talent on this defense? Is the talent on this defense overrated? So this year, it's a different movie than the same movie we watched for 15 years in a row, 14 years in a row, however many years you want to say. But that was a damn good movie.
Was a damn good movie, Greg. And now we have this sequel that, most sequels don't turn out as good as the originals, right? And that's kind of what you're hoping for, or not hoping for, rather, in this upcoming season. But you're right. I mean, the biggest question in maybe all of the National Football League this year is, what is Jordan Love? What is this? Who is this cat that was a first-round pick that sat behind a first-ballot Hall of Famer for 3 years? Who is he? What is he? What can he be? How good is he? That's the main question. But you mentioned the pass catchers by over, I think it's 3 years of average age, the youngest group in the entire league. The most veteran pass catcher in that room is a tie between Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. The tight ends, you're going to have a rookie starting. Defensively, there's a ton of investment, right? 8 first-round picks on that defense. But they weren't very good the first 10, 11 weeks of last season. Joe Barry still has a job, as you mentioned. So there are a ton of questions. How high is the ceiling? I can't tell you. How low is the floor? As low as it can be. Because if things go completely south, which they may, this could be a 3-14 team. If things go really well, maybe a 10-win team, maybe a 9-win team. That might be good enough to win the division because the NFC North is not very good overall. But I'm itching for Wednesday. We finally get to see Jordan Love throw some footballs as the number one guy. We haven't really seen that in a reality situation for a long stretch of time. He is the number one guy Wednesday. What does that look like? I can't wait to overreact. I love overreacting at the end of July and into August when training camp kicks up. So there are a ton of questions, more questions than I ever remember for a Green Bay Packers team, and that's just aside from the biggest question, which is, of course, the quarterback.
800-990-3776. Do you miss having Super Bowl expectations? Because, as you said, there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot to look forward to. But, does it take juice out of this season, or at least this offseason, going into training camp saying, I'm excited to see how the quarterback looks, as opposed to I'm excited to see if this team is going to be able to win a Super Bowl, right? The bar is at a different place. Success is going to look a lot different this year than it has in previous years. Do you feel like there's juice taken out of this season? Do you miss having Super Bowl expectations? And this hit me when I heard Aaron Rodgers in a Jets press conference at the podium talking about having those Super Bowl expectations with a franchise that's literally been the exact opposite. It historically has always lived in this world of, do we have a good quarterback? Is this team going to be playoff bound? Do we have what it takes from a future standpoint? What is this team? And now all of a sudden they're experiencing what the Packers have been experiencing the past few years, and that is Super Bowl expectations.
That's spectacular. I mean, that's what you want. You want to be a part of a place that has high expectations, and there's a lot of positivity around here, which I think is a good thing. But we got to temper expectations early on at camp and focus on the little things to get there. It's a long season. It's a journey. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be peaks and valleys, and I think we just got to build this thing the right way. And
that clip is from New York, not Green Bay.
That clip is from New York.
That sounds exactly like Aaron Rodgers 1 year ago. He said the same exact thing 1 year ago. We have to temper expectations. There's championship expectations. He's the same dude.
What do you think? He's been saying it for 15 years. Do you think he's going to change up now?
Well, look, I the part about that I don't like is there's a lot of positivity around here. Of course there is, right? The reason there's positivity is because Mark Sanchez is their quarterback right now. They traded for a first ballot Hall of Famer. But Aaron Rodgers is obvious. He's in the toughest division in all of football, right? Like a year ago, we thought the AFC West would be the toughest division in all of football. This year, it's the AFC East. It's not going to be that winnable. Do I think the Jets can be a good team? Yeah, I do. But when you bring in, 9 guys total, 8 players, 1 coach from the Packers that have failed to get it done over and over and over again for the last almost decade and a half, I don't know that leads to a championship. I just can't say it does. Aaron Rodgers is turning 40 in December, right? So I don't know how high the ceiling is for the Jets, but I'm annoyed by him.
But the ceiling is a Super Bowl.
Defend your guy.
The ceiling is a Super Bowl. As much as there's going to be question marks, they still have a quarterback capable of doing it, more than capable of doing it. They have a defense that was a top 5 defense last year. They have the offensive rookie of the year catching balls from Aaron Rodgers as a number 1 wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. Their number 2 wide receiver was the Packers wide receiver from last year, and their number 3 is better than what it was last. So, I'm saying there's ways that this can go awry for the Jets, but it's a realistic ceiling for them to win the Super Bowl, and I think that it's such a swap of expectations from Jets to Packers. But I don't lose much juice. I feel like I should lose more juice because I'd seen that movie so many times that I'm just excited to kind of see a different movie, even if I know it's going to be worse than the movie I'd seen before.
I'm more excited for this year than I have been the past 2 years.
But it's like watching The Godfather over and over and over and over again and being like, I know that this movie is going to be worse. I'm just excited to see something different, right?
Yeah, it largely that. I thought that the Aaron Rodgers tenure had run its course. I thought his play has steadily been declining. And I thought that Mark Murphy, Brian Gutekunst, and everyone in Green Bay weren't going to do the things necessary to get the Packers over the hump. So it was multifaceted.
That last part I agree with. The first part, the steadily declining play, I don't know how you have that takeaway when he won 2 MVPs entering last season. Back-to-back MVPs. He had 48 touchdowns in 2020. Right? So the play hasn't been declining. He was hurt last year. In order to win a championship, you got to be lucky, you got to be good, you got to be healthy. What did you just call me?
I said analytics, bozo.
Hey, Strophy, want to know what my favorite analytics stat is?
Tell me.
3 letters. Can you guess? MVP, baby! MVP!
6 points.
Best player in football, Josh.
Take that.
You're right.
Take them analytics and stick it down your pipe hole.
6 points in the playoffs would have mattered.
MVP. That's all that matters. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Mick Ultra. There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue with your rigid routine, or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a Michelob Ultra with friends, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy it responsibly. Jason Wilde joins us next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
Egg salad out of a vending machine or gas station sushi?
Egg salad.
I stopped off at a gas station for a snack, and I ended up with a full Bavarian pretzel the other day. Like a soft pretzel. It's a wild ride.
Did you have nacho cheese with it?
No. I raw dogged it.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
We're seeing slowdowns all over the system right now. 94 still slow, about a 4-minute delay both ways through the stadium interchange. Once you get through, headed towards the Zoo interchange westbound or the Marquette interchange eastbound, you should be good. But you're seeing several minutes of brake lights before you get there. 41 southbound and northbound both slow. Highway Q2 the Zoo on southbound is a 20-minute ride. It's about a 9-minute delay. Similar delay going northbound. It's about an 8-minute delay. At 43 northbound, looking a little bit better from downtown to Brown Deer Road right now. A 17-minute ride. That's down to a 6-minute delay. But 43 southbound still slow. It's a 28-minute ride from Brown Deer to downtown. That is a 17-minute delay. And taking a look at your forecast for tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, a low of 62 at the lake, 57 inland. Friday, sunny and beautiful, a high of 81. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Barmar-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Kevin Murat here from Mentality Men's Health. We hear stories every day in our clinics that what used to work for guys doesn't anymore. Increase cardio, cut out certain food, nothing stops the changes in their bodies, especially the weight. The fact is, years of decreasing testosterone has packed on the belly fat that won't go away. We've introduced a medication, semaglutide, that helps drop 15% of the body weight on average while preserving testosterone. Join the over 20,000 Mentality clients and jumpstart your results. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel. Coming up this Monday on The Tee, myself and Stephen Watson will recap everything in the year's final major at the Open. Look, I'm probably going to be a little sad because Majors Championship season is over, although we do have a Ryder Cup, but I digress. Stephen and I will go over everything that happened at Royal Liverpool coming up Monday, 6 o'clock. It's only on The Tee, right here on ESPN Milwaukee.
On The Tee with Gabe and Steven, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips. Mondays at 6 on 94.5 ESPN.
You forgot to clean out your backpack since school ended? Oh, rotten.
That's back on Windows.
Well, You make a great point. Tell you what, let's clean out your backpack and then we'll...
While we can't do anything about rotten lunches, Pella's lifetime warranty on wood windows and doors makes it so that you'll never have to worry about rotting windows again. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, make payments as low as $35 per month per window and $78 per patio door. Visit PellaWI.com.
It's the 10th sales event all month long at the Lynch family of dealerships. Over 800 vehicles to choose from, including up to $7,500 off select new vehicles or 0.9% financing. And you'll get top dollar toward your trade, even if you have to push, pull, or drag it in during the Lynch 10th sale event. Visit shoplynch.com today.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
As low as 0.9% APR for 66 months to qualified buyers. Must take delivery by July 31st. See dealer for all the details.
There's only one place in Milwaukee where every day of the year, dreams and reality get together for a great time. Where you can walk in a player and walk out a winner. That place, Potawatomi Casino Hotel. With fantastic dining, gaming, sports betting, a luxurious hotel, and endless ways to win, the excitement never stops. The only thing missing is you. Your win is waiting. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Visit our website to learn more. Must be 21 to enter casino.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Don't need drama. I just need one word to get to you. So tell me now, do you want it? 'Cause these dancing feet don't cry to the rhythm they cry for you. And every Saturday night that you ain't keep my tears blue. And these
Scalzo and Brust presented by Michelob Ultra. No Ben Brust today. He's enjoying the practice round for his member guest tournament at the Old Country Club down in Illinois that he grew up at. Practice round today, member guest tournament this week. And Alex Strofe, your cousin sub, not only today but tomorrow. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Josh DiMaggio, Alex G running the show across ESPN Wisconsin, and we're delighted to be joined by our Packers guy. You hear him every day, 9 to noon, across ESPN Wisconsin, alongside Packer Hall of Famer Mark Dausch. You read him at The Athletic and the Wisconsin State Journal, and you hear him every day, everywhere here on ESPN Wisconsin. He is Jason Wilde. Jason, loved hearing you with Mark Murphy yesterday on Wilde and Tausch. Some great stuff to come out of there. What was the most insightful takeaway that you had from your conversation with Mark Murphy?
It's all the football operations' fault that they're doing a bad job of living up to, hey, we're owned by the fans. We're the only team like that. We love our narrative about how we're owned by the fans, but we're not really doing a whole hell of a lot for those fans who own our team. So blame football and blame paranoid coaches and general managers who don't want us having open practices. That was my biggest takeaway from something that, Tausch and I have obviously talked about a lot, and something that, even though I'm not a fan per se, has bothered me for quite a while just because I don't like hypocrisy. And I still stand by that. I think they should be held to a higher standard because they love the fact that they can say that the team is owned by the community and owned by our fans. But then when it comes to, hey, we should have a higher standard of how connected we are with our fans, they don't believe in that. The final line from Mark Murphy on that subject was, I still think we do a lot more than any other team does in terms of their fans. Well, you should. And if I'd had a little more guts, I should have said that.
Treat them to a luncheon once a year. They'll be happy. Jason, I'm just curious with him.
Strofe, I would just say this. You're from here, right? And obviously, I don't know how many times anybody rode your bike to practice and stuff like that. And there are still quaint things and unique things about it. I'm not disputing that those things exist, but like people fork over, $250, like $300 if you count like shipping and fees and stuff, for stock. I was talking to a friend of mine that works in the pro shop. they're selling a ton of jerseys because, quite frankly, if you want to wear a jersey of someone who plays on the team, you probably have to get a new one because most of the guys that do are either new or were new last year when you probably were happy with your, Aaron Rodgers jersey or your Mercedes Lewis jersey or your, I don't know how many people had Alan Lazard jerseys, but you know what I mean? And so, I just feel like the fan base is incredibly loyal. And yes, are they passionate? And yes, do they get frustrated? And yes, do they get after the previous quarterback? All those things are true. But I just feel like there should be a little bit more. And look, I know there are probably fans that think that, it's not my problem. I should shut up. I get that. But I do have plenty of friends who are fans. And, one of them, we call him the unofficial mayor of Green Bay, not to be confused with the unofficial mayor of Door County, which I guess wouldn't have a mayor because Door County's a myriad of different little towns. But anyway, but Kyle Cousineau, here's a guy. Kyle facilitates ticket sales via social media for Packers fans to make sure that they sell to Packers fans. Now, I think he usually requires that you just sell at face value. So if you're looking to make a buck, he's not your guy. But he is so dyed-in-the-wool Packers fan guy that, now he's got 2 kids, but he grew up taking his bike to Lambeau Field. And he was the one who kind of rattled off all the things that have disappeared in the last 15 years. The off-season practices being closed this year was the start of it, right? No OTA practices open to fans, no minicamp practices, but no fan fest anymore. No fewer practices during training camp. No draft party. The fact that they're actually taking a practice out of Green Bay, which they always vowed they would never, ever do during training camp, well, they're going to practice one day in Cincinnati. Do I have a problem with that? No. But when there's only 13 practices, that's one more day that you can't come and watch your favorite football team. I just feel like they're hypocritical about the fans own the team narrative, that it's when it's convenient and it makes them look unique, great. But if it actually requires them to do more for fans, I just don't feel like they do it.
Jason Woolley joining us here on Scalzo and Brust across ESPN Wisconsin. And Jason, we were talking about
that. I don't think Strofe ever got to his question.
No, he didn't. I actually pointed to him thinking he was going to finish his question.
I pointed back to you because I figured you wanted to reset. So I do want to. I knew you wanted to do the resets. I knew Jason,
let's be honest.
To be a little long-winded, so it's fine.
Your answer to his non-question was better than your answer to whatever question's he's actually going to have.
Well, that's disrespectful, and I do not appreciate that, so I'm going to talk over you now. So, Jason, I just wanted to get to the other takeaway from Mark Murphy that you played this morning with Brian Bulaga and Willie and Tausch is the fact that he kind of said, yeah, I'm good with retiring at 70. Every time this guy talks into a microphone, it seems like he blabs something that he probably shouldn't say. So I was shocked that he's like, yeah, I'm good not taking a 6-figure paycheck anymore. What was your reaction to that back and forth you had with him? Because I didn't love it personally as a fan.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that because, and I mentioned this morning as it sounds like you heard, like I love what I do, and I love Steve the Homer True. We have disagreed on certain things over the years, but I will fight anybody who says that he's not the GOAT in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee sports talk radio history. Okay, and he's approaching his 70th birthday now. Have he and I gone round and round on certain things that he's chosen to debate on social media? And sometimes do I think he has crazy takes? Absolutely. But do I think he still primarily has his fastball as his 70th birthday approaches? I do. I think Homer's really, really, really good. And I respect the hell out of him, and I love him. So if we had some sort of rule that said, okay, sorry, you're turning 70, you're donezo, I don't think that that's necessary. And I would hope, I would like to still be covering this team. I'd like to make it to age 70 covering the team because that would mean, I think I got to get to 74 to have spent 50 years covering the team because this is year 28. But I just don't think that in a world where the most likely presidential candidates will both be 80 by the time the election rolls around, or will be 80 whoever wins. I don't think it's necessary. That was a rule that was put in place a really long time ago. So what I was surprised by was that he didn't say, for me, this is the right thing, but I do think it's something that we should look at. Maybe we don't make a change. Maybe we change the age a little bit. I don't know. This is the right decision for me personally, but I'm not sure it's still applicable to the organization. I thought maybe that was a possibility that he would say. But I did agree with him. I do think it's important for leadership to change over every so often, and it shouldn't be a job that, if you get the job at 55 and you're the president for 25 years or for 15 years to get to 70, and you still want to keep going, I think you should have the opportunity. But maybe it's good that you can't get, because you're not going to get that job at age 40 most likely. Maybe it is good that you can't go that long. But that was not let me just put it this way. I was not expecting the answer to be a flat out, I think it's a good rule. I thought maybe that would have changed for him.
Jason, when you talk about that turnover in leadership, right? We're only a couple years away. That means that the wheels are probably already in motion. What are the dynamics as far as identifying that next, president for the Packers, and ultimately, what is that process?
Yeah, I do think it's a little bit strange because Murphy brought this up in one of his columns 6 months ago and kind of started the clock on the conversation, which seemed premature to me at the time. I mean, when we talk about it, right now we're talking about it, it's July 20th? He turns 70 on July 13th, 2025. So, he's got 1 year and 51 weeks before he hits 70. So, I think they probably have a short list of people that they like for the job. I don't think there's any question about that. I think Ed Policy and Gabrielle Dow are probably the two in-house candidates that would be considered leading candidates. Gabrielle was integral in their getting of the NFL draft in 2025. Ed Policy was the point man for everything Titletown, and his father, Carmen, ran the San Francisco 49ers during their heyday from a business side, so he certainly came up in the business. A guy that I have mentioned that I don't know if he's quite ready yet, if he's too young or doesn't have enough business side experience, is Rob Davis, the former long snapper who came back to lead their diversity and inclusion department. Played in the league for a long time, served as Mike McCarthy's assistant head coach in Dallas. I think he's a really smart guy and someone that would deserve at least an interview for that. But let's not forget, when this happened the last time, Bob Harlan had his hand-picked successor, John Jones, who then had a serious medical issue and turned out to not be up to the task of assuming the presidency. And then the guy that Bob wanted instead was Jason Weed, who was a young guy who was their corporate counsel. And the board said, no, we're going to use a search firm, and that's how they ended up with Mark Murphy, who, while he may be awkward and you never know what he might say in an interview setting, you cannot dispute how successful they've been business-wise.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Jason, thank you, as always, for the time. Great stuff, and we'll talk to you next week.
This has been a great day. I got to talk to you two, and a good friend of mine made sure that we're getting to go to see Pink in a couple weeks. So I cannot ask for more happy news than I got today. So I appreciate you guys. Take care. Be good.
Great stuff. Thank you, Jason.
Raise your glass.
There you go. Alex Strofe was just by himself at Shinedown, and Jason Wilde going to Pink. How about that? I just wanted to work the Shinedown in. I don't even know who they are, and I still feel like I'm mocking you when I say that.
It sounds like you're mocking me, first off. Second off,
well, you know what?
You know what? Songs.
Because everybody who tells me that you went to Shinedown is mocking you when they say it.
Greg, have you Googled
Hold on. Stop right there.
No, I haven't.
They look like a 2003 rock band from Jacksonville, like the year they were formed. Yeah, I mean, that's just what they look like. Who's talking to you about me going to Shinedown, Greg?
I was in the ESPN Madison offices last week, I think, and everybody
this
was
happened on Sunday.
Yeah, but you apparently were saying you were going to go to Shinedown by yourself last week. No doubt. Because they told me last week. That's the only reason I knew.
I don't think that the buy myself ad wasn't until Sunday, so I don't know about that.
Well,
maybe you're hiding.
I'm legitimately not. Everybody in there was like, "Did you hear?" And I had to admit it wasn't Shinedown. They said it was like Nickelback. And then I saw a poll from Jim and Matt saying, "What's the worst thing to go to alone?" I believe it was. And I've just put two and two together and figured out that you went to Shinedown by yourself. They do look like a 2003 rock band from Jacksonville. That is very true.
Yeah, that's what they are. I mean, they look like what they are. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm proud of you, Stroh.
Stop mocking me.
No, I'm proud of you because a lot of people who like things that are traditionally mocked hide from that fact, and you're just putting yourself out there and owning it. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's me, man. That's me. Appreciate you. I still feel like you're being sarcastic,
I'm
but
not.
I appreciate it.
He insulted you directly to your face with a big ol' smile.
I did?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
He insulted me?
Yes.
When did he insult me? Just that he's proud of me.
Wonders here next on Scalzo and Brust.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You know the rule about double dipping, Greg. Double dipping in the same game's tough.
I mean, they brought in Whipple, the former offensive coordinator.
No
for Pitt.
justification, kiddo.
Scalzo and Brust, available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
The Zoo interchange, bit of a mess right now. Delays both ways on 41, both northbound and southbound. It's looking a little bit worse northbound, however, as you head out of the Zoo interchange. Southbound, only a couple minutes of delays. We're seeing a lot of slowdowns as well as you head towards the stadium interchange out of the Zoo on 94 westbound. Eastbound also slow through the stadium, but once you get past it and headed towards the Zoo, you should be smooth sailing. 43 still slow both ways. The trouble spots are northbound, just coming out of the Marquette interchange and headed up towards Capitol Drive. Southbound coming down from Bayshore to and past Capitol Drive. And taking a look at your forecast for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy and breezy with a low of 62. Friday, sunny and beautiful, a high of 81. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. Make the most out of your summer at Elkhart Lakes Road America. The race season is still going strong. Don't miss a minute of the fun. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Enjoy affordable family fun with the return of the NASCAR Xfinity Series to Road America July 27th through the 29th. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Don't give in to that constant joint pain. Take control. Take back your quality of life today with help from QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Tony Smith. QC Kinetics is helping people every day here in Milwaukee and across the country with their amazing non-surgical treatments that repair and restore damaged joint tissue. They use the latest advances in regenerative medicine, taking your own body's healing agents and concentrating them right in the area where you have the agonizing pain. This incredible non-invasive approach helps you take back control of your body, relieving pain in the knees, hips, shoulders, or back. No invasive surgery, no harmful drugs or steroids, and no downtime. Listen, summertime needs to be about having fun, making memories, golfing, hiking, enjoying the outdoors. Take control now and start living pain-free again. Call now for your free consultation with QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Your second home this baseball season is J. Line and Kugel's Barrel Yard, a one-of-a-kind restaurant and brewery overlooking left field at American Family Field. Barrel Yard features specialty beer brewed on site by Line and Kugel's own master brewers, plus nostalgic dining in an iconic setting with a scratch kitchen serving up Wisconsin comfort foods. Open from 11 to 9 on non-game days and during games on game days for fans with tickets. Get a behind-the-scenes look at AmFam Field this baseball season at the Barrel Yard.
This is going to be interesting, so pay attention.
Mountains and trees. Ducks and hunting dogs. Dinosaur bones. Meteorites. Steel that's carved like the leather stirrups on a Western saddle. Damascus steel, like they make swords out of. Carbon fiber. Hardwood.
Manly things.
Hardwood. You already said that. I know. I just like the sound of it. Hardwood. It does have a nice ring to it.
Ring. I see what you did there.
I'm sorry, I got us off track.
Kessler's has wedding bands for men.
Real men.
Made of manly things.
He wants you to wear a big, beautiful diamond so that everyone you meet will know how much he loves you.
Why not insist that he wear something equally cool?
You'll tell your grandkids about the day you went shopping for this wedding band at Kessler's when they ask,
Where did you get such a cool ring? And what is it made of?
Welcome to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you,
go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
To the Grateful Dead Thursday, presented by Michelob Ultra. No Ben Brust today, playing in a practice round for a member guest tournament. This old country club. I'm Greg Scalzo. Josh and Amaji running the show. Why do I feel the need to say that every single time?
Because it bothers you that Ben does this and how excited he gets.
I feel like that's more of a me problem than a Ben problem now.
Well, it is a you problem because you largely have allowed him to get away with this for the past 4 years.
Thanks, Josh. Alex drove his
fair.
His cousin sub of the day. Cousin subs, we believe in better.
I play a part. I help him along.
You're just an observer.
Yeah.
Let's get to some winners, heroes.
Are you a 1 or a 0? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you a yes or a no?
There's no such thing as a gray area. Life is binary. It's just a 1 or a 0.
He is Alex Strofe. I'm Greg Scalzo. We're your contestants for 1 or 0. Josh DiMaggio, your host. He asks us a question. We say 1 for yes, 0 for no. There is no gray area. Joshy, take it away.
Justin Fields said that he's guaranteeing that he'll be the first quarterback in Bears team history to throw for over 4,000 yards in a single season. 1 or 0. Justin Fields will never throw for 4,000 yards as a Bear.
That's tough. I'm going to go 0 here. I wanted to laugh in his face, but I think he's probably right. The direction of the NFL and the direction of the Chicago Bears is they want to throw the football. And obviously, he is a terrific dual-threat quarterback. I hate admitting that out loud. But I think he'll do it. I don't think it'll be this season, but I think naturally as they continue to build that offense up and put pieces around him like they did this offseason with DJ Moore and some other pieces, I think he'll eventually do it. And I think I don't think he'll ever be a top 5 quarterback in the league, but he'll be one of those guys where you probably can't just do better than him. So I think he'll do it eventually.
I'm a 0. I think he could be good. I don't think he's going to be great. I think he could be good. But I think it's a really difficult thing to rush for 1,000 yards and throw for 4,000. Like, there's only so many yards your offense is going to gain. So unless he fundamentally changes how he plays and they fundamentally change how they play him, I just don't see it happening. I don't think he's an incredible dual threat quarterback. I think he's I don't think he's as good as a Lamar Jackson, who's a former MVP, who's an incredible
Correct.
I think he's exciting, and I think he'll have moments and stretches, but I don't ever see him rushing for 700 yards and throwing for 4,000 yards. I don't think he's that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the Bears haven't tried to throw for 4,000 yards in their history. They've just been unsuccessful.
Well, you do get an extra game. The extra game makes 4,000 a lot more attainable.
It will be interesting to track that if he's getting close and if Game 17 is the one that helps him get to that point. 1 or 0, you'd rather be a Lions fan right now than a Bears fan.
I'm a 1, but I don't know that it has anything to do with the success of the teams. I would just rather die than be a Bears fan, Josh. So I'm a 1.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. I grew up in Green Bay. What do you expect, Greg? I hate the Bears. I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Seahawks. I hate the Vikings. I don't actually hate the Lions. So, yes, 1,000,000%.
Infinite
yes.
nothingness. Better than you rooting for the Bears. I think that...
Yes.
I'm a 0 here. I'd rather be a Bears fan than a Lions fan right now. because the Lions, they feel like their ceiling is making the playoffs, whereas the Bears, you can convince yourself that Justin Fields could turn into Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts level. You've got all this draft capital. You've got young players. Like, I just feel like the future ceiling is higher for the Bears. I could convince myself more as a Bears fan than I can as a Lions fan, especially after the offseason. The Lions just had such a Lions offseason, like drafting a middle linebacker and a running back in the first round. It just...
Yeah, that's tough.
It's
that
a tough
made
one.
Me mad.
That is tough.
Yesterday, the Rockies Jumbotron featured a game notes with a clearly constructed message to go viral on social media that said, "Don't bother asking him to check your heart, Becky. The crushed Titanic sub has more life inside it than that collapsed troll cave you call a chest cavity." Winner Zero, you consider yourself gullible.
I mean, Strofe is a 1 because he just believed what you said.
%1.
He didn't even understand the question well enough, or he thought it was it wasn't a trick until you said gullible.
Wait, hold on. What just happened? I'm very lost. I'm a 1. I'm already a 1.
You can look.
Did you just troll me right there?
No, you can look it up. It was something that was posted all over social media. The Rockies Jumbotron had this note about a doctor and stethoscopes and reading the heart, and everybody's treating it as if it wasn't. Like, they think it's a disgruntled employee who was taking out his ex, Becky, which is just not the case. We don't make Beckys anymore. We don't have any Beckys out here that are breaking people's hearts.
Also, like, if I were to submit a game note to a professional sports team, they would read that and be like, we're not putting that up.
Well, they're saying that it's somebody who works for the
organization.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
And it's so obviously constructed. It's like I felt like I was taking crazy pills.
My mind is bent all over the place right now. Hold on. So, Greg, you just said Strope's clearly a 1 because he believed what Josh just said. So you were under the impression that Josh made that up?
No. I mean, this is... all right.
We're so far from...
Stoop to Brust level. Spell it out. Spell it out.
All right, so Josh is saying that the story about this... You know how things happen in the world? So... I would say maybe 20 to 25% of the things that you see that are viral, Strofe, aren't real. Like, you see some of these, like, certain things that happen, they're like stunts.
Right.
So Josh is saying this is so clearly a stunt, but the Rockies are trying to convince you that it's not. Are you gullible? Would you have believed that that was actually real as opposed to done for social media?
I wouldn't have believed that, but I am gullible, yes. I just think that's quite a thing to pop on a Jumbotron at a baseball game where the vibes are supposed to be high and happy, and we're talking about the crushed Titanic submarine. It's kind of sad. Anyway.
I feel like we shouldn't make as many jokes about that.
I don't care.
I agree. I think people are so insensitive, man. I work with Jim Rutledge on a daily basis.
Did you hear it? Josh, just move on to the next one.
Human stupidity has birthed another Tide Pod challenge. This time, it's people eating borax and claiming it eases symptoms of arthritis, lupus, among other things. The Poison Center is urging people not to eat borax because, you guessed it, it's poisonous and shows no evidence of human health benefits. 1 or 0. People are getting dumber by the day.
I mean, 1. Like, 1.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's getting dumber. The children are getting dumber. I don't think children have started getting dumber in a very long time. And now, like, all the test scores are down. Everybody's getting dumber.
I'm just... If you approach...
I don't know what borax is. I'll admit it.
I had to Google it as well. It's fine. It's like a chemical thing, cleaning thing.
Yeah. If you told me that borax would be the way to save my life, I would be like, what do you mean borax is... Like... How are people just so incurious about reality?
Well, they see it and they just believe it.
Yeah, that's unfortunately the age we live in, right? With social media and whatnot, things just spread like a wildfire. And to your point, I mean, you mentioned the Tide Pod challenge, right? People thought that was hilarious. There was that trend where people were going into grocery stores, taking off the cover of ice cream lids and licking the top. Do you remember that? Like, people are idiots, and people do not understand there is repercussions for their actions, and that bothers me quite a lot, Joshy. But anyway, thanks for ending on a high note. Appreciate that. Let's talk about the submarine some more, shall we?
Yeah, this was a big Joshy needed to get a few things off of his chest, 1 or 0.
They happen every once in a while.
They happen.
What was that?
You got caught up in this one, Stroh. He's
mad. Justin Fields is making predictions. He wants to bring up people eating chemicals.
Let me
butter you guys up.
Let me bring in this. That was for me and you because he knows that me and you probably more than a lot of people like to talk sports, and so he's like, oh, this will be good. And we had her, and then it went into do you consider yourself gullible? Look at all these idiots who believe this, and then into people are dumb.
Let's realize the way he ordered them, though, Greg, right? The Borax one was listed number 1 on our list. The Rockies billboard was number 2.
Yep.
Justin Fields on that list was the 4th option. So, we know what was on Josh's chest. Good point.
That's a thing we like to call the old bait and switch, boys. Reel you in, switch it up.
Bait and switch. I like that. I'm going to have to steal that. Well done.
Man, no Ben Brust today. We have Alex Strofe as your cousin sub of the day, and boy, is Alex Strofe smart. Just like Smart Spaces helps your company space become smart. Technically integrated, able to navigate all virtual meeting environments. I was in a couple different meetings today, just walk into different rooms. All I got to do is push a button and boom, I am connected to everybody that I need to be connected to. They helped our dream become that reality so that our team can focus on what they do best and not have to worry about the pains of technology. It's what you need in today's virtual world. Smart Spaces has a listen-first culture where they'll learn your business's needs and provide seamless solutions for your office. So improve your business today at smartspaces.com. This is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra.
I want Greg Scalzo to be my running mate, and you get to be VP, but I'm taking George Washington off the 1. You're saying no.
I would not want that to tarnish my legacy or reputation.
Your legacy is you and I are P and VP of life forever. That's our legacy. Who cares what we did?
If you were born when George Washington was born, you wouldn't have made it to 1 year old. Times were hard back then, and that man won the freaking American Revolution and started this fine country.
He's a great man. He had his run. It's a new era.
Scalzo and Brust. Available anywhere you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Magoo's on the Mound is your game day headquarters. Located on 59th and Blue Mound, just minutes from the ballpark. Magoo's has food options for everyone and a vast selection of craft beers and cocktails. Enjoy some drinks and watch all the games with your buds. Or stay entertained with pool, darts, trivia, poker, or live music. Plus, Magoo's on the Mound offers plenty of free parking and shuttles to all home games for the crew. Check out their food and drink menu as well as upcoming events at magoos.biz. That's magoos.biz.
Keep the good times rolling every Sunday with GKB founder and CEO Craig Karmazin on Sunday Karma.
No rum shaking. Did you say that off the air, Kyle? You got to say that on the air. It was not rum shaking. It was not anything inappropriate. It just was totally irrelevant.
Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
Because isn't that how GMs get chosen, right? You trade up, in my opinion, cost the team a chance to win a championship.
Sundays from 10 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
Don't you just love when superstars want a different challenge? And that is clearly the case with Leo Messi, one of the biggest superstars that soccer has ever seen, maybe the biggest superstar that has happened since Pele was roaming the earth doing his thing as a Hall of Fame soccer player. And he's about to do that in MLS for Inter Miami. Just hearing and seeing the reaction from everybody with the star of that magnitude playing in MLS is exactly what a league like that continues to grow and grow and grow. That Leo Messi looked at them and said, that's a place where I want to go. That's a place where I want to be. Having a chance to play in the United States, in this league, giving it more credibility than MLS has probably ever had, and they'll take every bit of that when it comes to Leo Messi. And the best part about it is, Leo Messi still has more to give. Yeah, he's at the end of his career, but he's not at the end, which means it could be a beginning even more so for MLS, thanks to Leo Messi joining their league. In 60 seconds, Bill Belichick on the hot seat?
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/JOY.
It's never easy to put the words hot seat next to a Hall of Famer, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, whether you're a general manager. I'm not going to do that when it comes to Bill Belichick of the New England Patriots. Yeah, that could be the best low-hanging fruit. They have not won a playoff game since Tom Brady and the Patriots had that divorce, and he won the championship and made the playoffs each and every year for Tampa Bay, and the New England Patriots have not been able to measure up. It can be easy to say, oh, man, that means that Bill Belichick, he's under a lot of pressure. Bill Belichick knows exactly what the landscape is. But I will say this about Bill Belichick more than ever before in these modern times and in modern football. You got to have some dudes, especially people still question you have a dude in quarterback when it comes to Mac Jones. That's why Bill O'Brien is the offense coordinator to try to make sure Mac Jones can be better. But if that's really going to happen so we can avoid a hot seat conversation with Bill Belichick next year, then Bill Belichick better help out Mac Jones as much as Bill O'Brien has to help out Mac Jones. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman.
It's Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it.
Gone are the days when the Alps fall down. You take up the open plow the fields around.
Scalzo and Brust, I'm grateful that Thursday. No Ben Brust, Alex Strofe in his place. Strofe will be back tomorrow.
Shakedown Street. It's Shakedown Street.
Not Shakedown Street.
Shoot. I know the words though. Brown-eyed women and red grenadine. What's the name of the song?
Brown-eyed women.
Just said it. That's why I turned it off.
Wow. What's Shakedown Street? That's different?
That is different, yes.
Much.
It's a different song. Much different vibe.
I was just trying to channel my inner Brust there. Sorry.
That was actually right on to Benny Brust there. On Twitter, at Scalzo and Brust, we asked the question, do the Packers as an organization care about Packers fans in Wisconsin as a community? 63% say yes, 37% say no. And along those lines, after Kay Forsyth said this should be the case, we asked, should Packers shareholders have a say in who the Packers draft each year? 92% of the Scalzo and Brust family says no. However, 8% says yes.
I voted yes. I mean, I would absolutely love if we ran a little poll. Like, oh my goodness. Could you imagine the chaos?
Would Packers fans do that much worse than a GM? I don't think so.
No, probably not. I mean, look, nobody's doing the research that everybody's doing. This is Shakedown Street.
This is Shakedown.
But, yeah, anyway. I would love it.
Well, Ben Brust kicks off his member guest tournament tomorrow. Practice round today. That's why he was out. We've got Joe and Amber coming up next in Milwaukee and Beaver Dam. Colin Russo in the huddle coming up in Madison. Strofe and Scalzo back tomorrow.
Maybe it's 'cause it's midnight. The dark of the moon inside.
Several things to watch out for on 94. First on 94 westbound in Waukesha County, there's some debris on the ramp from Moreland Road. We're also seeing some slowdowns there headed back towards the Zoo interchange. 94 eastbound also slow through the stadium. We're currently looking at a 13-minute ride, about a 7-minute delay from the Zoo into downtown on 94 eastbound.